Hello everyone, and welcome to All We Need. A paranormal, I guess supernatural exploration horror game in which our choices determine how things progress. How that'll actually present, I don't know. In fact, I don't know much about this game, except that it is already astoundingly creepy and comfy. Look, an old manor behind a gate, seemingly not abandoned, but certainly nestled in the woods, all on a rainy night while a clearly magical-looking deer grazes outside. Its antlers are like stars. I get the impression of it as some sort of guide, but I guess that remains to be seen. Let's try it out. Also, this is completely free on Steam, so if you want to try it for yourself, that link will be down in the description. I mean, I feel like that was more his fault than mine.
Ouch. What happened to me?
Look at that. The portrait of us alone. Just kind of left propped up on the hood. Just kind of left propped up on the hood. Nobody else in the car with us, but... Okay, I think I already know what happened. Alright, we were driving with our family in the car. We hit a deer, causing us to wreck, and they both died and we survived, leaving us with survivor's guilt. We'll see how on point I am, but that's my initial impression. But other than the crash, this is actually not a bad day for a walk. The forest is beautiful, the rain is light, and it's pretty calm. Oh, these are some strange-looking mushrooms over here, almost like Fantasyland mushrooms, and this is like a Fantasyland entrance, where once we walk by, there won't be a normal life ahead of us, and we won't be able to come back the way we came. Yep. Definitely feel like I've entered Oz. Crossing over a stream.
Come to me.
Yes? I don't want to talk to the Goblin King from Return to Oz. Oh god, have I gone to Return to Oz instead? Oh, you're the boss.
Welcome to the Forest of Judgment, traveller. This tale of three is to unfold as one, but beware of the consequences of your actions, sinning one. Time is not your friend. What once was will be lived again, and what's yet to be forgotten silently hides in the mist.
I could ask where I am, but the more relevant question seems to be, who are you?
Who are you? What do you want?
I am the voice of the forest, an echo of mist.
With the ability to teleport us. A story of three, but all in our hands. So maybe their fate can still be changed? Maybe it's not too late for us. Maybe this isn't just...
You want to know the truth, don't you, Jack?
I mean, I'd like to. With a magic Newport? Oh, where's Chester Stone when you need him?
My head.
And that's all you've got for me. But do we have what we were given? We have a journal. And different animals representing the pages. Maybe there's secrets to find. Okay, we have a diary. Activate spirit power. We smoke the magic Newport, and we see things differently. Actually, there's a little bit of magic to the smoke itself as well, it seems. Does this thing just never run out? Well, I imagine it'll show us what we need to do as we progress. Unless she really is going to leave us without guidance. This is our journey, after all. But the question is this really a place, or is this a way for us to reconcile? The whispering stops as I light this. Oh, wait, I thought I saw something. No? Okay. Oop. Well, we've got some run on us. The cigarette you found emits an intriguing aura. Use it to unveil hidden paths and discover routes to overcome obstacles. There was simply no way without magic. Unfortunately, this gate suffers from no such affliction. You there. You owe me a new Michelin. Just silently watching. Now, if it wasn't already obvious from the menu, it was clear in the moment before the crash that you were not an ordinary deer. Your body was like covered in markings. And we're a good distance away, but it looks like your eye may be glowing. I mean, deer's eyes do that anyway, but during the day? Yeah, kind of like that. Are you admiring the icon? You fade away in the light of the cigarette. And it enables me to hear you. Wait, there's something else down there. Oh, you're giving me different paths to explore, but this is the most obvious. Ooh, and there's some kind of structure over there. A downed pole blocks our progress in this way. There's the house. I definitely want to see what's in there, mainly because it seems like a good place to see if there's any books on the shelves. Kind of wait out the storm. Forget my family. That's strange. In this case, a barrier appears when we're smoking. Looks residential. At first I thought it might be like a barn or something. Locked. I figured as much, but that light betrays something inside. Oh my, oh. I guess that's just an extra way for the spirit realm to tell me I'm not meant to go that way. It also means that there won't always be an aura. Okay, let's try the other direction then. You're still watching. I wonder if it'll have us all taking place in the same area, or if we're going to be moving along as we go. Like maybe there'll be things that can help us get by those objects. I doubt it's all there for nothing. Look at you. At first I thought you were a church, but you're kind of just the steeple. And kind of a short one at that. The whispers sounded like they were coming from here. but nothing to see. Ooh. Gravestones. Gravestones with some kind of glyphs on them. Oh. And that's not the only thing that's hidden. A statue to a murder victim, arms outstretched as if cursing the gods. But you don't offer me any additional context. Hello? Does this enable us to see spirits as well? Looks like they're arguing or hiding. But all we see is an overturned table. Wait, no, these graves are already here. Let's continue walking the path then. I'm not sure if there's a reason not to have the cigarette out all the time, except we have to see the world in this washed out way when it's otherwise so pretty. Ah, no, there's the church. And this grave layout has to be in violation of some kind of city ordinance, right?
Maybe there's someone inside.
I think a better bet would have been that house back there. But this also looks like a good reading spot in the rain. What is this? It doesn't change. Although I did see something else there.
This was once a place of worship, a cradle of the old gods, blessed by fortune. The little fawn was destined for great things, a future of magic and beauty. The tribe witnessed her first steps, unaware of what was yet to come.
The girl seems happy. I assume this is an image you're showing us. Which means that the image on the dash could also have been something that you showed us. Taking a skeptical approach doesn't seem very appropriate in this moment.
The girl looks really happy. I wonder what happened to her.
All in due time, traveller. You shall wonder enough.
Oh, don't worry, I intend to do plenty of wondering. It's kind of what I do on this channel. Oh. Night has fallen. The little fawn seems to be a young girl, native to these lands. She was probably someone of importance, brought up to be an oracle or a shaman or something like that. I knew it. These candles are lit. Got a light? But I'm still not aware of if I can do anything with that. This all shows us the old way, the way it was at some point in time. Maybe those monuments are long gone.
Come for us, save us, take us. Come for us, save us.
Something over here.
Take us.
Wait, will this appear if I'm not smoking? It will. And I'm not gonna lie, this went from comfy to creepy in a real hurry at night. My beloved son, strangers have torn us apart with their ignorance in the forest's whispers. Driven by arrogance, they took you away. I hid the key in their church, hoping to stop them, but nature didn't aid us. They took your mother first, now you. I'll wait for her to bring justice. She'll avenge us all. Are you maybe referring to the very spirit that helps us now? Maybe they saw you as like a witch or some other dark thing when really you were their messiah, or at least just a thing of beauty. Well, that was easy.
Save
But it
us,
doesn't look like we can interact with the shrine.
for us, save us, take us, come for us.
Have I mentioned that this game is quite pretty looking? Alright, well, we've got the key. Presumably that goes to the door of the house down the other way. Is there anything more for us to find? Doesn't seem so. I'm not sure how much there will be in the way of secrets. All I know is that I must look pretty cool being thrust into paranormal horrors beyond my comprehension. Old gods and curses. Just strolling through with a cigarette in my mouth that I never seem to exhale. This acts as a barrier. I wonder, will anything be different if I try to look around by night? Do you hear that? I can't tell if that's soundtrack or if that's actually diegetic, because it sounds like it's coming from beyond the rocks. No, I think it's just very faint soundtrack.
She's doing something to me. These visions.
Clearly, but it's not like I got anything better to do. What with not having a car and all, like some kind of square. I say, as somebody who doesn't drive, like some kind of square. Yep, this thing's still sparking away. But there is a light on at the house. Okay, well, let's make sure these rocks aren't in the way. What about you, scorpions? You still present? Certainly. And I'm a little concerned about these tracks on the ground. Not the worst place to spend the night. Although I'm a little concerned about not being able to close the door, okay. I'm sorry I insulted your hospitality. Oh, we can carry a candle forward. So far, it doesn't seem like there's any differences.
This music. It sounds familiar.
The little otter had a lovely little burrow with plenty to be cheerful for. She was blessed with a loving family. No pain or suffering, just warmth. One of many gifts was given to her from those she loved. A blissful moment among many.
This is our family. I know that girl.
I saw this scene somewhere, but where?
Musing upon the past, it can cause pain. Yet, oftentimes, to forsake remembrance is not a superior course.
I think that the morality system of this game, if it is to have one, is going to revolve around which questions I choose to ask, and in doing so, making it apparent what's important to me. The past, the present, or the future? Because that's what this all seems to hinge around. Let's check this again. Each of these represents a different story. Well, that makes sense. A story of 3. The little otter is a young girl, too. She wears modern clothing and seems to have had a loving family. That music box. I heard that melody before. I wonder if the house itself has any significance. There's a padlock on this door, so let's head upstairs. Oh my, exploring this house by candlelight is comfier than I could have imagined. I can just faintly hear the crickets outside. You know, normally I use EQ to lower the game's volume. Relative to my voice, this may be a case where I have to boost it, though. A bear.
Who did this belong to?
The little fox lived in an old, inhospitable den. Not much to account for, but it was home. Life was not fair for the little fox, who had to learn the ways of grown folks sooner than he should have. But there was hope in his life, a lingering warmth sheltering him from the evils lurking in the shadows.
It's always a matter of time. I hope he's okay.
I hope that little boy is alright. What a terrible father.
Yes, hope is a nice thing to hold on to. Is the boy safe? What do you think, Jack?
I wonder if that was meant as an insult.
Who's that little boy?
Potentially ourselves, as the only male character in the story so far. Maybe we considered it a personal goal to try and do better, and maybe we failed in that. The little fox is a boy, 10 or 12 years old at most. Modest upbringing, questionable father, maybe a loving mother? The boy's features look familiar. But how does this tie into the story we were told before? This room is partly boarded. Crowbar. Come on. I've noticed that I often have to press E like 3 or more times in order to pick something up.
Look. She's on the move again. Look.
Look, she's on the move again. Okay, I didn't see you there. Sorry.
Look. She's on the move again. Look.
The goddess herself in physical form, perhaps? There's another note here. My dear son, time has passed, seasons changed. The lively forest now lies silent. I'm here, alone in darkness, accepting my fate. They took her, too, turning her into one of them. My end approaches, but a desire for vengeance remains. May she wake up. May she... Pursued, cast aside, rejected, and praying for vengeance. Maybe you got it? I can't understand what you're saying. There we go. That was an intense UI there. And I guess we're leaving our candle behind, much as I'd like to take it with me. I just got the feeling something might be watching me from the forest. Stop that! Seems a pretty heavy fog is set on this place. You're just determined to run the whole gamut of comfy settings, aren't you? Well, at least it's not raining anymore. And the house on the edge of the woods certainly seems inviting at a time like this. We could go through there. There is a lock on the gate. We can continue down the path, or we can go have a look at that pond we saw before. These reflecting cobblestones, or rocks, or whatever they are. I thought it was something on the ground. Trapped under ice. I'll be safe here. Yes. She won't take me as long as I stay very still. So I guess one way or another, those prayers were answered. Against the prayers of most everyone else. That sort of reminds me of Lost in Vivo, being able to just hear the echoes of these spirits. Their voices themselves not making much sense, but it's like the idea is beamed into our head in the form of subtitles. Please, just let me live here. I could sprint, I could, but I'm enjoying a stroll through the forest too much. Anything behind you? A statue of a pig that once fed at these troughs? Or maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. You look like you may be a wood carving. Maybe the wood carvings were once real beings, including that deer at the front. That's seeming more and more likely. Eat up, little guy. There's another key. That must go to the gate. I'm sorry, anytime you have me pick something up from in front of a window, I think there'll be something staring at me. And surely there must be some reason you had me come over here. What is that? A bat.
The little fox grew in fear of the one who should have protected him, in a den devoid of comfort and joy. His body and mind poisoned by violence, the boy started plotting vengeance in order to attain freedom. Meanwhile, his father dealt with the results of his own loss in the only inhuman way he knew.
Poisoned mind is hard to heal.
I don't blame the boy for having those thoughts. Whatever the reason, his father should have kept it together.
He should have. Instead, the father's wrath was inherited by the son.
That boy, it looks like Ethan, Kara's friend. Kara, who is she?
Okay, the plot is thickening, and not every connection is obvious. Things got worse for the boy. The mother seems to have left at some point, which made things worse for him. Worse because of his father. Well, let's inherit the family estate, which I'm claiming ownership of. Sorry, I'm just standing at different angles, cause hoo boy, what a thumbnail. Maybe we explore the grounds a little first, now that it's staring me in the face like that. It's a little imposing. Great for keeping away solicitors. I always gotta remember that things do that here. Oddly enough, I'm not threatened by you. Still, I feel like I may be missing things. I mean, I just realized how easily I could have come away from that bat. Wait, you don't deserve this. I hope you're not talking about the house. Look, it's all overgrown right up to the door, as if decades of dirt have piled up on the porch. It's as beautiful as I'd hoped.
The little otter's burrow, once a joyful place, became a lair of anger. Abandoned by the one she loved most, she felt anger and sadness in equal measure. She was unable to deal with either. The little otter was not alone, but reaching her wounded heart was difficult, even for her own mother.
He abandoned them.
The father, he left them. But why?
Why do people leave, Jack? They're either broken or afraid.
Did I abandon them? I wouldn't.
Now we really need to know what this place is. Like, have we died and this is our assessment? Or does this just help whoever happens to come here? Is that what she does? Of course, I'm ignoring large parts of the beginning of this story, the one that started centuries ago. The girl's father left at some point. Not clear where he went. The mother was probably supportive, but was it enough? The girl looks angry. No. Sad. It is quite dark. I really wish I had a candle. A cigarette might just have to do. Oh, wait. What did you find? You had something there.
It seems like there's a book missing here.
Maybe if we can find it, it'll do something?
And who are you? What's your role in this goddamn tragedy?
The little fawn survived the first massacre. She was allowed to live a sort of life. In a wooden cage. But she lived. However, it was not a life of tranquility. What trials she faced next left no mark on timber or stone. And so days became months. Months became an eternity. Still her power grew. Silent like a bear in winter.
This whole thing is about the damage done to children when they're not brought up properly. All of them had enormous potential, her most of all, in the literal sense. But that energy is being directed in a negative way, and the cycle will continue. You are going for a right option.
I hope someone killed that son of a bitch.
This anger is endearing. But of course, everyone dies eventually.
That little girl.
Daddy, come on. We've got to celebrate.
Lily? Is that you? Lily?
We have a name, which means we're remembering more. She was forced into servitude after the invasion, and she lived here, in this mansion. Doesn't look like it was a peaceful life. Okay, but we are missing something, which means I'm gonna go back and look for it. Ah, we can't. 2. What do you mean? Actually, your eyes crossed out, a person missing entirely. You're missing your eyes. Your face scratched out. We can open the door to this back room. But nothing else to be seen from the look of it. Huh. So that 2 that we saw must be a clue of some kind. Wait, what is this? No. How do I leave? I guess we need to figure out the right order.
Right.
Alright, well we know that the first one is 2 then. Running water.
Another memory.
A propane tank.
The little fox had enough. His plan came to fruition at last. Little more than a boy, the little fox was now all alone in the world. In the blazing flame of another tragedy, he was now free. His mind and body yet not fully grown. He set on a path to take back from the world what had been denied to him thus far.
Maybe there's still time to help.
I think I know that boy. Maybe I can help him.
You can in a way, but do you want to? Remember, Jack.
Yeah, remember.
What is happening to me?
Five in lines. That must be the missing book. Alright, so 2, 5. It'll be up to us to piece out the order. But we can also place this over here. Come on. Fancy mechanism. Darwin, what are you up to? He came for us. It was one of our own. A mountain tall, with steps like thunder. I hid here, but he found me. If you read this, run away. Leave this foul place. Well, at least he was gracious enough to let you write this note. And I guess leave your skull and nothing else. Anything more to be seen? No, sir.
This is
Oh,
the
no.
right one. What does she want from me?
Did he say, what does she want from me? Alright, let's continue exploring the rest of the house. There's still another wing. I wish we could see out the window. One. 2-5, pentagram 1.
More religious icons? This place definitely has too many of them.
The little fawn soon learned the meaning of violence. Her home burned by the pale-faced destroyers from another land. She cried and cried all alone as they ransacked, raided, and annihilated everything on their paths. But the more they killed, the stronger their enemy became.
She was all alone.
I wish I could have protected her. No child should go through that kind of suffering.
A noble sentiment. Indeed, we bear the responsibility for our offspring.
That girl, she lived in this village before the Europeans came. Were they English? Spanish?
I don't know, but let's have a look at the journal. Oh no, we did fill it in. This village, it's where the girl lived. It was colonized by the Europeans around the 1600s. Dark history, to be sure. Forced into servitude after the invasion, and she lived in this mansion, was not peaceful. Seems like the boy took matters into his own hands. A burned house, someone inside. From this image, it doesn't look like an accident. Once again, can't blame him. But now what? What was it? 2-5 pentagram 1? 8675309? Two, 5, pentagram 1. That's done it. Although I'm still not exactly sure of the means by which that image was conveyed to me. Then again, how is storyboard art getting into my head? Alright, well obviously I'm gonna go around the side. That's where all secrets are hidden in games. Still, it's not that this game is trying to be secretive. Like, I think I am supposed to get everything.
She has risen. Rejoice. Vengeance shall be ours. She has risen. Rejoice. Vengeance shall be ours. No more regrets. No more pain. Freedom is upon us. No more regrets. No more pain. Freedom is upon us. No more regret.
You don't deserve this. Maybe that's true. Did it say something different, maybe?
Rejoice. Vengeance shall be ours. She has
Well,
risen.
ultimately, this is what you wanted.
Vengeance shall be.
All that abuse, it always gets turned outward in some way. You reap what you sow. Flooded basement, great. Well, at least we're able to bring the fishies back to life. With a magic cigarette. This is a weird game. We loved you. Secret passage. Okay, I dig it. Let me just look around a little bit more. I'm very afraid of missing something. There is something here. Oh no. It's every room from a Gary's Mod horror map. Nothing in... I swear I hear splashing. Also, these are bloodstains.
The tragedy that befell the little otter was one of grave sadness. A premature tomb for one so young, so full of hope for the future. And the fox, blinded by his pride, was the agent of the catastrophe. He shares the blame, however, along with another.
It was me. Oh man, it's actually worse than I thought.
I left them. This is on me, isn't it?
A moment of clarity in the end. Why did you leave them, Jack? Why? You see now, Jack, this was your doing. Remember what you did. Remember what you neglected for your own sake and avarice. Remember before it's too late.
Cara, Lily, what have I done? You were the little fawn, weren't you? You blame me for what happened to them, but why show me when I can't do anything about it? What was that? What do you want from me? A weapon?
The massacre of that night was the epitome of destruction for my people. The last flames of hope snuffed forever by the white devils! The fawn had enough of subjugation. The last of her people, she rebelled against her master with all she had left. The battle on this plane of existence was an uneven one. The fawn met defeat with haste. But another one was about to begin.
I don't know what we can do except express sympathy. We already know what happened.
You found yourself in an impossible situation. I'm sorry.
If that mistake wasn't yours, Jack, wouldn't it be smarter to focus on what you can change?
Thought we established that I can't. The girls' tribe mounted a resistance in these caves. They were discovered. God, this is awful. This actually happened, didn't it? I'm sorry, you should have caught on to the fact that this wasn't allegorical, like, long ago. Can't see anything different immediately. And it's about time I'm starting to think of the title, All We Need. It feels like something is starting to form, but I can't quite put it to words yet. Come on.
Something feels off. This totem, it's wrong.
Well, its legs are kind of gnarly.
And at last the fawn did attain her utmost capability. Her might echoed through the dim recesses of the cavern. The white devil ended her physical form, but in that moment a new being was born. The course of events that followed was not just, but rightfully vengeful. The fawn became a devil, and the devils her slaves.
An unbroken cycle. And that's why you chose us. That's why you've taken an interest in us. You think you can get through to us because you see yourself in us.
You did to them what they did to your people. This way, the violence will never end.
This is the way the world works, Jack. Always has been.
So that's how it all went down, huh? I also have something to repent for. I don't want to end up like that.
Perhaps not. In both cases, vengeance was, as she said, unjust but righteous. She rebelled against her captors and paid the ultimate price. But something else happened to her. I know this aura. That's her. It's always been her. Well, again, you've already said as much. Still, the story of the fox is yet to conclude, not even halfway. That's what we're forging. I mean, I'm kind of surprised by her tone in some of these things because it almost seems like she lacks some of the insight that she's apparently trying to impart on us. I mean, I wasn't judging there. Especially since she hasn't been judging me. It's almost darker with this thing out. No going back, though. Also, I just want to take this moment to point this out because I haven't yet. Look at these textures. Just look at the feel of all this game. It's got that weird sort of like 2013 Unity horror game look. But like really well done, you know? Like it looks like proper gorgeous in ways. And yet it's got that texture. It's a weird combination to see, and I really like it. It makes it feel so nostalgic. Definitely helps that it's running so well as well. It's a lot to see down here. alligator. This place really was lively at one point in time.
Another memory.
The fox was devoured by guilt, but could not turn back the clock. In the dark, he sulked and sighed and contemplated his mistakes. A misguided love was perhaps to blame, but the fox had never been given love. He never learnt the meaning behind it all. And thus it was so that a tragedy sparked another in the never-ending cycle of life lost and regained.
We can take blame. We can try and push it off as not part of us. Or we can focus on the core of his desire. I'm mentally packing a lot of meaning into each of these choices that isn't there, and I don't know how you're going to take it. It's real Telltale syndrome right now.
Ethan loved Kara. I was so blind. I should have known. I could have helped.
Love is powerful. It is a wild force. You cannot tame a bear, merely learn to respect her strength.
Lily, Kara, this can't be. Please, tell me it's all a nightmare. I beg of you, if you can, undo all this. Please, but bring them back. Let this be a cruel illusion. I can't take this anymore. I was supposed to meet them at the cabin. I didn't go. Is that why they were in the car with Ethan? Oh God.
It was Ethan. The fox was Ethan, Kara's friend. He felt responsible for their deaths and grieved as if he loved her. Did he kill them? Did I? Honestly, I have no idea which direction it's trying to lead me in, but clearly the fact that it's answering the question, or the fact that it's asking the question, means that it is supposed to be a question. There's someone over there. Okay, that's not helping me see. An elevator going upward. Although it seems we've missed it. What you looking at?
That's not my suit. Ethan's? Is he here?
Attached to a mannequin in the
For better or
caves?
worse, the fox found a way to deal with his grief. He sought solace in a place of human justice. The fox was not alone in this endeavor. Someone else walked this path with him. Someone entirely different. Whether friend or foe, she walked the path with him for a little while, aiding him or tempting him.
I mean, we could focus on this, or we could focus on the bombshell that you just dropped. You don't just help those who end up here. You seem to actively influence outside. How much can we pull for this guy? Because at a certain point...
Is that you in the picture? You helped him move on, didn't you?
My influence in the lives of mortals is but a gentle wind, but even wind can sculpt pathways in a forest's undergrowth.
Ethan, he was going to get a new life, she said. What kind of life? I need to know.
This calls into question her entire motivation and role here. Like, before she seemed as more of a guide for lost souls, but if she's actively influencing living people, is it possible she created this whole situation, or I don't even know. I feel like that can't be answered until we understand our own role better. Okay, well, that will be found at the top of this elevator over here, I imagine. Except it's gone. Oh, never mind, you're coming back for me. Who's operating this thing? Who cares? Doesn't matter. Like, we could accuse her and thereby accuse him of helping him escape justice, but we still don't know what exactly it is he did. We don't know what happened. We call this an accident, but in that case, how does blame fall on either of us?
A suitcase? That's mine.
This is a separate story altogether. Or is it? Do you remember this, Jack? You left them to pursue something unknown even to you. Was it worth it? Would you do it all over again? You seemed happy to escape your boring life, but the reality was different, wasn't it?
We can accuse her of taunting us with this. I was unhappy feels like an excuse. All of these feel like an excuse or a deflection. One way or another, we are guilty, at least as far as leaving them. So I think we should just say, I remember now.
Yes, it was me. I was so eager to leave, to try something new outside that god-forsaken city that I did not consider how that would make them feel.
Do not blame your shortcomings on a place or time. Your choices were always your own.
It's all coming back to me. The memories, the joy we had together. How did it all slip away? The laughter, the warmth. Oh, God.
I mean, she pretty much just told you. Didn't slip away, you tossed it into the ocean. I left them. I left Kara and Lily to pursue some dream, to run away from the apathy. I ran too far. Could all of this be real? He went to court for something connected to the deaths of Kara and Lily. Did he confess, or was he working to clean his name? Either way, she helped him. If we interpret her as benevolent, maybe she just gave him the same treatment we're getting now? Either way, he was there, we weren't. So we can't say that I killed them unless there's a really big twist coming. Either way, the diary is now completely filled, so it's just going to be a matter of what's waiting for us at the end of the path. That's what I thought. Kind of forgotten about the cigarette for a while. Oop. These lights are about the only thing illuminating this part of the cave. This is where all will be revealed. Like walking on stars. Were it not for the music, this would be so peaceful. Yep.
No, I don't want to remember this. It's too much. I can't.
But you already do.
In your pursuit of happiness, you drifted further and further away from them, towards a place of no return. Though prompted by fate or circumstance, you chose the road of betrayal, one that took you away from them, one significant step at the time. This last step, however, became permanent. It sealed their fate in ways beyond your comprehension.
So here's the problem. We can thank her for, I guess, providing us a path back in some way. Or we can accuse her of being the reason why this happened, which I guess in some way she is. Or we can just accept blame that we shouldn't have been in this situation in the first place, that where we could be tempted. But the problem is there's gaps in this story. There's like bits of information that are critical that we don't have right here. This seems the safest. I should have been there.
I should have picked up the phone. If I did, they might still be alive.
Living the past can either bring nostalgia or desperation. It's just time for you to face it all. There is hope yet, Jack. You are not beyond redemption. Your family can still be saved. Despite your trespassings, you have grown to accept your mistakes and become a better man for it. Time cannot erase what has been, but the future is full of hope. In it, Jack, you may find redemption. The path ahead will be challenging, but with newfound understanding and the willingness to bear the weight of your past, you can shape a brighter, more virtuous destiny for yourself and for those you hold dear. Go now. Leave this cursed place and return to your family. They are waiting.
In some form or another. You did make sure to state what's done can't be undone. Seek to make your life long and of service to your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the Great Divide. Tecumseh. And that's what it's all about. It's not about where it ends up, because it all ends up in the same place. It's not about allowing yourself to be shaped by what happened to you, doing the wrong thing knowing that no one would blame you. Ultimately, it's about what you are to others and who you want to be. If you do something that you know is wrong because you feel justified in doing so, well, all that means is that you did something you knew was wrong and came pre-prepared with an excuse. I guess in the morality of this game, life is just you playing your role in it's up to you to make sure that your roll was a positive one, a good one. So that was All We Need, and I think I was freaking myself out a little bit, thinking that the decision-making and the morality of this would be more complex than it was. And that's not a criticism, I think that's the point. How it ultimately is very simple, and in order to see that, you have to see past the complexities of life. All of these stories were stories of, well, as I said, a situation where no one would blame them for not being their best selves, but ultimately it was their decision not to be. And it doesn't really judge them for that, it just states that it is what it is. But there was always a path to being better. It's not about what they did, it's about what they do. I gotta say, for a free experience, that was very decently lengthy, very well made, and just a really nice little fable. Something you can sit down with for an hour, and maybe learn something. Games in particular are ripe for this over other media like books or movies, simply because it's you in control. When you have that agency, you feel the weight of your decisions much more, even before you make them. By far the most interesting thing about this game, though, is the way the decision-making is done, because it's not so much about making choices in the moment that change the way the narrative progresses. Really, it's about being told a story, and it's the way we engage with that story that determines whether we're worthy of redemption in the game's eyes. In other words, it's all about asking the right questions that reveal how we interpret what we're being told. It's constantly testing the player by posing the question, is any of this getting through to you? And so the morality is all about understanding why you're being told all this. And you can interpret it in different ways, because it can feel so much like you're being judged. I feel like it's almost an English teacher's dream, this one, because it's really about identifying what the core theme is, and basing your questioning on that. I think that's how we arrived at the good ending. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, remember it's free, that link will be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.